Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope you all are fit and fine. Okay, we have started Unit 3 and some derivations I have taught you in the previous classes. Okay, right. Now, today we are going to see the rest of the things in this lesson. Okay, we are going to go through the rest of the topics. Okay, children? Right. The unit name is what? Magnetism and magnetic effects of electric current. Magnetism and magnetic effects of electric current. Okay. So these are the things which is very important part in physics. Okay. So without magnetic field, there is nothing. So each and everything in the universe, there is a magnetic field and the electric current is observed naturally. Okay, children, let's see one by one what are the rest of the topics in this lesson. Okay, so in this lesson there are many derivations. Okay, you have to go through the derivations properly. Okay, so study well the derivations and go through it. Okay, children, right, let's start the lesson. First of all, magnetic field due to a circular loop carrying current. Okay. In the previous classes, we have seen about the magnetic field due to a long straight conductor carrying current. It is similar to that only. Okay. In the previous one, we have seen a long straight conductor, but here we are going to see the circular loop. We are going to see the circular loop carrying current. Okay. Right. So consider a current carrying circular loop. Okay. See, this is the circular loop. Okay. Let R be the radius. Okay. Capital R be the radius. Okay. And I be the current. Okay. Flowing through the wire. Okay. Right. Okay. So now the magnetic field at the point P. At the point P, see, at the point P, the magnetic field on the axis of the circular coil at a distance Z from the center of the coil O is computed by taking two diametrically opposite line elements of the coil, each of length dl at C and D. So let R be the vector joining the current element at C and the point P. Okay, so according to Biot-Savart law, okay, we have studied Biot-Savart law. What is Biot-Savart law? dB, okay, magnetic field is equal to mu by 4 pi I dl into R by R square. Okay, right. Now the magnitude of dB is dB equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl sin theta by R square, where theta equal to 90 degree, which is perpendicular. Okay, so now the direction of dB is directly it is perpendicular to the current element IDL and CP. So it is therefore along PR, which is perpendicular to CP. Okay, the magnitude of magnetic field at P due to the current element at B is same as that for the current element at C because of equal distances from the coil, but its direction is along PS. Direction is along PS. Okay, now B equal to dB sin theta. So now apply dB. So mu naught I by 4 pi dl by R square into sin theta. Okay, from the triangle, see the triangle OCP. Okay, take the triangle OCP. Okay, take the triangle OCP. Here, sin pi is equal to R by R square plus R is it. The whole power 1 by 2, where R square equal to capital R square plus Z square. Okay. Now, while substituting it, we will get the final magnetic field at the center of the coil B equal to mu naught Ni by 2R into K vector. Okay. Understood. So, this is the magnetic field due to circular loop carrying current. Okay, children. Now, we are going to see about the torque experienced by a current loop in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, torque experienced by a current loop in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, let theta be the angle between the plane of the loop and the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, now the axis of the coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Axis of the coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field. Okay, here there is a rectangular, okay, there is a rectangular loop, isn't it? Yes. So finally we will get in this equation, okay, you have to know only the final answer, okay, final answer. Okay, so there is a rectangular loop, that is PQRS, okay, that is carrying the current I, that is placed in a uniform magnetic field B. Let A and B be the length and breadth of the rectangular loop. Okay, now the unit vector that is normal to the plane of the loop makes an angle theta with the magnetic field. Okay, now the magnitude of the magnetic force acting on the current carrying arm PQ, okay, that is the direction of the force is found during a right hand corkscrew. There is a right hand corkscrew rule, okay. Based upon that rule, it is solved, okay. Finally, we will get the answer. Tau is equal to NIAB sin theta, where N is the number of turns, I is the current, okay, B is the magnitude, AB, okay. Right. So there is a special case if we apply theta equal to 90 degree, if we apply theta equal to 0 degree or 180 degree. Okay. So these are the things. Okay, children. Now, tangent galvanometer. It is a very important question. Okay, tangent galvanometer. Okay, what is a tangent galvanometer? It is a device that is used to detect very small currents. Okay, device that is used to detect very small currents. Okay, it is a moving magnet type galvanometer. Moving magnet type galvanometer. Okay, it is working based on the tangent law. It is working based on the tangent law. Okay, now what is the tangent law? When a magnetic needle or a magnet is freely suspended in two mutually perpendicular uniform magnetic fields, it will come to rest in the direction of the resultant of the two fields. Okay, so let B be the magnetic field that is produced by passing current through the coil of the tangent galvanometer, and BH be the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. So, under the action of two magnetic fields, the needle comes to rest making angle theta. So, B equal to BH tan theta. B equal to BH tan theta. So, in the construction, okay, in the construction, tangent galvanometer consists of a upper coil of several turns that is wound on a non-magnetic circular frame. So, the frame is made up of brass. Frame is made up of brass or otherwise wood. So, which is mounted on a horizontal base table. See in the picture with the 3 leveling screws. There are 3 leveling screws. Okay. Now, the tangent galvanometer is provided with 2 or more coils of different number of turns. Now, most of the equipments, okay, we use a laboratory that contains coils of 2 turns, coils of 5 turns and 50 turns, okay, which are of different thickness and are used for measuring current of different strength. So, at the center of turntable, there is a small upright projection on which a compass box is placed. Okay, compass box consists of a small magnetic needle which is pivoted at its center. So, such that the centers of both the magnetic needle and circular coil exactly coincide. Okay, a thin aluminium pointer attached perpendicular to the magnetic needle moves over a graduated circular scale. Okay, so the circular scale is divided into 4 quadrants and they are graduated in degrees. So each quadrant that is numbered from 0 degree to 90 degrees. So in order to avoid parallax error in measurement, a mirror is placed below the aluminium pointer. Okay, so there are some precautions. Okay, so all the nearby magnets and magnetic materials should be kept away from the instrument. Okay, using the spirit leveling screws at the base are adjusted so that the small magnetic needle is exactly horizontal and also coil is exactly vertical. Okay, now the plane of the coil is kept parallel to the small magnetic needle by rotating the coil about its vertical axis. Okay, we understood. So, in the tangent galvanometer, okay, when no current is passed through the coil, the small magnetic needle lies along the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. So, when the circuit is closed, the electric current will pass through the circular coil and it will produce the magnetic field at the center of the coil. Okay, there are 2 fields which are acting mutually perpendicular to each other. So, they are magnetic field due to the electric current and the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Okay, so because of these crossed fields, the pivoted magnetic needle reflects through an angle theta from the tangent law. Okay, so what is the tangent law? B equal to BH tan theta. Tangent law is B equal to BH tan theta. Okay, so when an electric current is passed through a circular coil of radius r that is having n turns, the magnitude of magnetic field at the center is B equal to mu naught n I by 2r. Okay, that is the equation 2. Okay, alright. Now B equal to another tan theta. So we can equate 1 and 2. Equate the equation 1 and 2. So mu naught Ni by 2 are equal to BH tan theta. Okay, now solve it. So BH equal to what we will get? Mu naught N by 2R 1 by tan theta. Okay, do you understand? Right? So what are the applications? This tangent galvanometer can be used to measure the magnitude of horizontal component of the geomagnetic field. So the principle can be used to compare the galvanometer constants. Galvanometer constant. Okay. Right. Now what is Ampere-Circuital law? What is Ampere-Circuital law? Okay. So Ampere-Circuital law that is used to calculate the magnetic field at a point whenever there is a symmetry in the problem. So this is similar to Gauss law. Similar to Gauss law. Okay, the line integral of magnetic field over a closed loop is mu naught times the net current enclosed by the loop. So that is mu naught into I. Mu naught into I. Okay, you understood? This is the Ampere-Circuital law. Okay, there is a magnetic dipole moment of evolving electron. Okay, you go through it. Okay, it is also in your book. Okay, right. Now, what is solenoid? What is solenoid? Okay, a solenoid is a long coil of wire. See, you are seeing the picture. A long coil of wire that is closely wound in the form of helix. Okay, so when electric current is passed through the solenoid, the magnetic field is produced. The magnetic field is produced. Okay, so the magnetic field of the solenoid is due to the superposition of magnetic fields of each turn of the solenoid. Now, the direction of magnetic field due to solenoid is given by right hand palm rule. Right hand palm rule. So, inside the solenoid, the magnetic field is nearly uniform and parallel to its axis. So, whereas outside the solenoid, the field is negligibly small. So, based on the direction of the current, one end of the solenoid behaves like north pole, other end behaves like a south pole. Now, the current carrying solenoid is held in right hand. So, if the fingers curls in the direction of current, then extended thumb gives the direction of magnetic field. Okay, take your right hand. So you curl the fingers. Okay, that will be the direction of current, and the thumb which is extended, that gives the direction. Okay, okay. You may see in your book page number 164. Okay, the direction of magnetic field of solenoid. Okay, the fingers will show the fingers. Okay, the fingers which is you have curled will show the direction of current, and the thumb gives the direction of magnetic field. Okay, the solenoid is assumed to be a long, which means that the length of the solenoid is large when compared to its diameter. Okay, so we consider here only circularly wound solenoid. Okay, right. Now, magnetic field due to a long current carrying solenoid. Okay, so see the picture. Consider a solenoid of length L. Consider a solenoid of length L that is having n turns. Consider a solenoid of length L having the n turns. Okay, now the diameter of the solenoid is assumed to be much smaller when compared to its length, and the coil is wound very closely. Coil is wound very closely. So, in order to calculate the magnetic field at any point, okay, இங்க ஒரு வந்து magnetic solenoid கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. இதுல வந்து எந்த பாயிண்ட்லனாலும் நமக்கு magnetic field என்ன அப்படினு தெரியணும். எந்த இடத்துல வச்சாலும் நமக்கு magnetic field என்ன அப்படினு தெரியணும்ன்றதுக்காக என்ன பண்ணிருக்காங்க அப்படினா ஒரு டெரிவேஷன். ஓகே, எதை பொறுத்து Ampere-Circuital law நம்ம பார்த்தோம்ல. சோ Ampere-Circuital law பேஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு டெரிவேஷன் கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. ஓகேவா? you take your book page number 164 and 165. Okay, so உங்களுக்கு கிளாஸ்ல வந்து போர்ட்ல நடத்த முடியாத situation, so I am doing it in this PPT itself. Okay children, you see page number 164, right? See, you have to write the Ampere circuital law, that is BDL equal to mu naught into I. BDL into mu naught into I, that is the Ampere circuital law. So mu naught into I na another total current entry goes by ampere in loop. Now left hand side of the equation edukonga, that is BDL. BDL. Okay, so picture la பார்த்தோம்னா A B C D. ஓகேவா, சோ அததான் எழுத போறோம். BDL எப்படி பிரிச்சு எழுதுறாங்க? A to B, B to C, C to D and D to A. அது வந்து ஒரு rectangular closed loop, isn't it? So A to B, B to C, C to D, D ல இருந்து A க்கு பாஸ் ஆகுதா, அததான் பிரிச்சு எழுதி இருக்காங்க. ஓகேவா, now the elemental length along BC, okay, and DA are perpendicular to the magnetic field. So BC க்கும் BC பாருங்க, BC க்கும் DA க்கும் perpendicular எப்படி இருக்குது? 90 டிகிரி இருக்குதா? சோ அத நம்ம வந்து θ ஃபார்ம்ல எழுதணும்னா BDL எப்படி எழுதலாம்? BDL cos θ. So BDL cos θ, BDL cos θ, BDL cos θ, BDL cos θ. Okay, so now it is perpendicular. Okay, so that is θ equal to 90 degree. Θ equal to 90 degree. Theta equal to 90 degree. So now there are, okay, so the magnetic field outside the solenoid is 0. Okay, now the integral BDL equal to 0. Okay, so for the path along AB, now the integral is BDL equal to BDL cos theta. So 0 cos 0 என்னது 0 ஆயிடுமா? So அது sorry cos 0 வந்து 1 ஆகுது. ஓகேவா, so cos 0 1 ஆச்சுனா என்ன ஆகும்? BDL அப்படியே ரிமைன் ஆகுது. now அந்த BDL நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்? இன்டகிரேட் பண்றோம்னா பண்ணும்போது BDL BL ஆ மாறிடுது. ஓகேவா, so left hand side equal to BL. ஓகேவா, so current pass ஆகுது. எத்தனை term? number of turns வந்து n. so mu naught into ni. okay, இது very easy one. okay, நீங்க பார்த்தாலே உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிரும். ஓகேவா, see இந்த டெரிவேஷனை நீங்க கிளாஸ் புக்ல எழுதி வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஓகேவா, it is an important one. சரியா, அதனால தான் நான் டீப்பா எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றேன். it is a very important one, magnetic field due to a long current carrying solenoid. ஓகே, இது உங்க கிளாஸ் புக்ல உடனே செஞ்சு பாத்துக்கோங்க. very easiest one. ஓகேவா, right. so further உங்களுக்கு B equal to mu naught ni அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு கடைசி final answer கிடைக்கும். ஓகேவா, now what is toroid? okay, toroid, okay, it is a solenoid தான். இதுவும் solenoid, but it is bent in such a way, okay, for such a way its ends are joined together to form a closed ring shape. okay, that is called the toroid. So the magnetic field has a constant magnitude inside the toroid. so whereas though there is an open space interior to the toroid and open space exterior to the toroid and it is inside the toroid. okay, so மூணு cases இருக்குது. ஓகேவா, மூணு cases இருக்கு. so toroid na என்னது? ஒரு solenoid தான், bent in such a way that is joined together to form a closed ring shape. ஓகேவா, now என்ன magnetic field create ஆகுது பார்த்தோம்னா first open spaceல, open space picture பார்த்துக்கோங்க. open spaceல create ஆகுது. அத வந்து length is equal to 2 pi r. அப்போ circumference என்னது? circumference of the circle வந்து 2 pi r. so அத வந்து 2 pi r னு எடுத்துக்கறாங்க. now ampere circuital law apply பண்றாங்க. BDL equal to mu naught into I. BDL equal to mu naught into I. ஓகேவா, that's all. so that is வந்து I equal to 0 ஆகிடுது. so B equal to 0. okay, next வந்து open space exterior to the toroid. இதுல வந்து Q vanish ஆகுது. Q வந்து destroy ஆகுது. so இதுலயும் B equal to BQ equal to 0. அதுல BP equal to 0. now inside the toroid பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா அங்க மட்டும் தான் L equal to 2 pi r போடுறோம். next ampere circuital law apply பண்றோம். அத வந்து solve பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா BDL க்கு அப்புறம் θ apply பண்ணோம்னா BDL cos θ. now what happened? BS equal to mu naught into ni. further final answer உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்குது. ஓகேவா, right. now what is Lorentz force? what is Lorentz force? so when an electric charge, okay, when an electric charge q that is kept at rest in a magnetic field. Okay, kept at rest in a magnetic field, so no force acts on it. At the same time, if the charge moves in the magnetic field, it experiences a force. Okay, so this force is different from Coulomb's force. So this force is known as the magnetic force. Okay, this force is known as the magnetic force. Okay, so once the electric and magnetic fields are known at some point in space, the force acting on a particle of a charge q can be calculated. So this relationship is called the Lorentz force. Okay. So Maxwell's equations together with this force law completely describe all the classical electromagnetic interactions. Okay. Now cyclotron. Okay. There is a definition for Tesla. Okay, you go through it in page number 168. Okay, definition for Tesla, important 2 mark. Okay, next cyclotron. Okay, there is a important question, that is the cyclotron. Okay, that is a cyclotron. Okay, so cyclotron is a device. Okay, cyclotron is a very important question. Okay, cyclotron is a device that is used to accelerate the charged particles to gain large kinetic energy. It is also called as high energy accelerator. It is also called the high energy accelerator. Okay, so what is the principle? So when a charged particle moves perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a magnetic Lorentz force. So see the diagram. Okay, the schematic diagram, it represents the particles are allowed to move in between two semicircular metal containers, that is called the Ds. That is called the Ds. That is a D-shaped object. Okay, நீங்க கூர்ந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு D-shaped தெரியும். சென்டர்ல ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு green color கோடு இருக்கா? இந்த பக்கம் ஒரு D, அந்த பக்கம் ஒரு D. ஓகேவா? அதுதான் என்னது D-shaped. ஓகேவா, D-shaped object. So these are enclosed in a, இது எங்க வச்சிருப்பாங்கன்னா ஒரு evacuated chamberல வச்சிருப்பாங்க. It is kept in a region with uniform magnetic field. Okay, that is controlled by an electromagnet. Uniform magnetic field கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. அதை கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றதுக்கு ஒரு electromagnet இருக்கு. Now the direction of magnetic field is normal to the plane of the Ds. Okay, so now the two Ds are kept separated with a gap and the source is placed at the center in gap between the Ds. Now the Ds are connected to high frequency alternating potential difference. Okay, now in the working நடக்குது அப்படின்னா, let us assume that the ion, okay, that is ions, that is ejected from the source. Yes, there is a source. Okay, ejected, that is positive charge. Okay, so as soon as the ion ejected, it accelerated towards the D1. Okay, first D1 க்கு போகுது, which has a negative potential. So since the magnetic field is normal to the plane of the Ds, now the ion moves in a circular path. So after one semicircular path inside the D1, the ion reaches the gap between the Ds. So at this time, the polarities of the Ds are reversed, so that the ion is now accelerated towards the D2 with a greater velocity. So mv square by r. What is mv square? That is the kinetic energy. So mv square by r is equal to qvb. So r equal to, அத நம்ம சால்வ் பண்ணோம் அப்படினா further kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. ஓகேவா, half mv square நமக்கு கிடைக்குது. So what are the limitations of cyclotron? Speed of the ion limit ஆகுது. Electron cannot be accelerated. Uncharged particles cannot be accelerated. Next, torque on a current loop placed in a magnetic field. Okay. So here this question we have seen already. Okay, so here the force on the current carrying wire in a magnetic field is responsible for the motor operation. So there is a rectangular loop PQRS that is carrying a current I that is placed in a uniform magnetic field. Now let A and B be the length and breadth of the rectangular coil that is placed in a magnetic field. Now finally we will get that the tendency of the torque, okay, that is to rotate the loop. Okay, torque oda வேலை என்னன்னா அந்த loop rotate பண்ணுது to align the normal vector with the direction of the magnetic field. Now if there are n turns, okay, what happens? That is tau equal to n I a b sin theta. Okay, Now, what is a moving coil galvanometer? Moving coil galvanometer. Okay, moving coil galvanometer is a device that is used to detect the flow of current in an electrical circuit. Moving coil galvanometer is a device which is used to detect the flow of current in an electrical circuit. So, what is the principle applied here? So, when a current carrying loop that is placed in a uniform magnetic field, it experiences a torque. Current carrying loop that is placed in a uniform magnetic field will experience as a torque. இதுதான் இதோட main principle. Okay, moving coil galvanometer to detect the flow of current. Detect the flow of current in a circuit. Okay, there is a construction. Okay, so moving coil galvanometer வந்து rectangular coil PQRS as given in the diagram you see. Now the coil contains a large number of turns. Okay, large number of turns that is wound over a light metallic frame. Now a cylindrical soft iron core that is placed symmetrically inside the coil. Okay, the rectangular coil is suspended freely between two pole pieces of the horseshoe magnet. There is a magnet using moving coil galvanometer and the horseshoe magnet. Okay, now the upper end of the rectangular coil is attached to one end of the fine strip of phosphate bronze and the lower end is connected to the hairspring. Okay, which is also made up of phosphate bronze. So in a fine suspension strip, a small plane mirror is attached. So in order to measure the deflection of the coil. Now, with the help of lamp and scale arrangement. Now the other end of the mirror is connected to a torsion head. So in order to pass electric current through the galvanometer, the suspension strip and the springs are connected to the terminals. So what working take place here? Okay, there is a rectangular coil PQRS whose length is L and the breadth is B. So PQ equal to RS, that is equal to L, and QR equal to SP, that is. So let L be the electric current, I be the electric current flowing through the rectangular coil PQRS. Now the horseshoe magnet has hemispherical magnetic poles which produces a radial magnetic field. So due to this radial field, the sides QR and SP are always parallel to the magnetic field and it experiences no force. It experiences a no force. Okay. So finally, G equal to K by NAB, that is the galvanometer constant. Okay, that is the galvanometer constant. Okay, so the suspended moving coil galvanometer is very sensitive, so we have to handle with high care. So most of the galvanometer we use are pointer type moving galvanometer. Okay. Now it is defined as the current required to produce a deflection of one scale division in a galvanometer. So what is the sensitivity? So the galvanometer is said to be sensitive because it shows a large scale deflection even for a small current. Large scale deflection even for a small current passing through it or a small voltage applies across it. Okay, what is the current sensitivity? Current sensitivity is defined as a deflection. Okay, that is produced per unit current flowing through the galvanometer. Okay. Now, what is voltage sensitivity? It is defined as a deflection produced per unit voltage that is applied across the galvanometer. Now, the conversion of galvanometer to ammeter and conversion of galvanometer to voltmeter. We are going to see. Okay, what is the galvanometer? Galvanometer is a very sensitive instrument. That is used to detect the current. So, it can be easily converted into ammeter and voltmeter. Easily converted to ammeter and voltmeter. Sensitive instrument that is used to measure the current, that is the galvanometer. Now, galvanometer is converted to ammeter. See the picture. This galvanometer converted to ammeter. How? Ammeter is an instrument that is used to measure the current flowing in the electrical circuit. Okay, ammeter is an instrument used to measure current flowing in the electrical circuit. Now, the ammeter must offer low resistance such that it will not change the current passing through it. So, ammeter is connected in series to measure the circuit current. Okay, so the galvanometer is converted into an ammeter by connecting a low resistance in parallel with the galvanometer. So this low resistance is called the shunt resistance. So that is denoted by S. Okay, see the picture. S. The resistance when the S காட்டிருக்காங்களா அது பேர் shunt resistance. So the scale is now calibrated in ampere. Scale வந்து ampere and the range of ammeter depends on the values of shunt resistance. Now let I be the current that is passing through the circuit. Okay, it is a very important question. Okay, well, I be the current that is passing through the circuit. Now, when the current reaches the junction A, it divides into two components. Let Ig be the current passing through the galvanometer of resistance through the path AGE, and the remaining current passes through the path ACGE through the shunt resistance. Okay. So finally, so an ammeter is a low resistance instrument. Okay, so it always connected in series. Low resistance always connected in series. Next, an ideal ammeter has a zero resistance. So in order to increase the range of an ammeter in n times, the value of shunt resistance to be connected in parallel. So that is S equal to, okay, Rg by n minus 1. Okay. Sorry. Next, what is how the galvanometer is conversion of galvanometer to voltmeter. So, what is a voltmeter? It is an instrument that is used to measure the potential difference across any 2 points in the electrical circuits. Okay, it should not draw any current from the circuit. Otherwise, the value of potential difference to be measured will be changed. So, voltmeter must have high resistance, and when it is connected in parallel, it will not draw appreciable current, so that it will indicate the true potential difference. Okay. So the galvanometer is converted into voltmeter by connecting the high resistance R. High resistance. See the picture in resistance R. Anga vandu shunt resistance, that is S. So the scale is calibrated in volt. Anga vandu ampere. Ammeter ingradhanaala ampere, inga voltmeter ingradhanaala volt la scale vechirukanga. So the range of voltmeter depends on the values of resistance that is connected in series. Okay. Now the value of resistance is adjusted so that the current produces the full scale deflection in the galvanometer. So RS be the resistance of the galvanometer, IS be the current. So இது எப்படி எழுதலாம்? V equal to Ig into G plus R. So that convert பண்ணும்போது R equal to V by I minus G. Okay, there is a galvanometer. So potential difference across the given load resistance is the sum of potential difference across the galvanometer and potential difference across the high resistance. Okay, the main key points are voltmeter is a high resistance instrument. Okay, so it is always connected in a ammeter என்ன அப்படினா low resistance instrument, voltmeter அப்படினா high resistance instrument. So ammeter வந்து lowங்கிறதுனால அது சீரிஸ்ல வச்சுக்கலாம், பட் voltmeter highங்கிறதுனால அவங்க parallelல தான் வைக்க முடியும். So with the circuit, the element across the potential difference measure பண்ணிக்கலாம். So an ideal voltmeter has a infinite resistance, but ideal ammeter has a zero resistance. Here infinite. Okay, so compare பண்ணி படிங்க. Okay, very easy. Conversion of galvanometer to ammeter, conversion of galvanometer to voltmeter. It's a very important question. Okay, children, that's all about this unit. Lesson 3 is completed. In next class, we are going to see the unit 4. Okay, children. Okay, okay. Study well. Don't waste a single time. Okay, do the homeworks and everything properly, which we are giving. And your homework is write 10 one words from the topics which I taught, and the book back long answer questions. Okay, take your book, page number 192. There are 16 big questions. Okay, mark it. Okay, mark it and study well and write in assignment. ஓகே, ஒன் டே ஃபுல்லா எழுதணும்னு கிடையாது. ஒரு நாளைக்கு 5 கொஸ்டின் படிச்சீங்கன்னா 5 கொஸ்டினை படிச்சு எழுதுங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் அடுத்த டே ஒரு 3 படிச்சீங்கன்னா படிச்சு எழுதுங்க. ஸோ டேக் யூர் ஓன் டைம். ஓகே, அசைன்மெண்ட் தான், படிச்சு கண்டிப்பா எழுதணும். படிக்காம சும்மா பேருக்கு எழுதி வைக்காதீங்க. ஓகேவா? ஸோ புக் பேக்ல உள்ள லாங் கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சர்ஸை மார்க் பண்ணி கைடு வச்சிருப்பீங்க நம்புறேன். இல்லைனாலும் புக்குக்குள்ள சர்ச் பண்ணீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு கிடைச்சிடும். ஓகேவா? வெரி ஈஸி தான். ஹெட்டிங் பார்த்து நல்லா மார்க் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. படிங்க, டைம் வேஸ்ட் பண்ணாதவங்க 1 words ஹோம்ஒர்க் நோட்ல எழுதுங்க. Okay, children, have a nice day. Study well. Don't waste a single time. 12th standard is a very, very important part of your life. Okay, so be very serious in studying. Okay, don't waste a single time. Okay, children. Thank you. Have a nice day.